Hello? Hello? Can you hear me at the back?
Yeah.
Yes. That was someone at the front said that. That was you. Okay. I hope people can hear me at the back. So we're about to start again. We're into the last hour of the program for today. And just a quick housekeeping message. The SNOT questionnaire group would like to let you know that they are extremely grateful for all the input they've had already, and they're going to be around in the atrium this evening as well, and also tomorrow. So if you would like to do the questionnaire, there's still plenty of time. But they've had lots of responses, and they're very, very grateful. But I think we should move on with the program. And the first speaker for today is Matt Harrison from the Thomas Pocklington Trust, and he is going to be accompanied by Rachel, who's going to... You're going to come and speak after Matt, is that right? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Afternoon, everyone. The SNOT questionnaire. I'm sure that's not what I think it is, but it is. Oh, okay. Okay. How'd you follow that? I don't know. Okay. Hopefully, I've got a presentation on here. Is it?
That's you.
Is that me? How do I? Is it on? Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Brilliant. Okay. So I'm not the education manager. I'm the engagement manager for Thomas Pocklington Trust for the East Midlands. We have engagement managers all over the country. Northampton falls into my territory, hence why I'm here today as opposed to one of my colleagues. But we all do the same thing. So what I'm talking about happens on a national scale. So even if you think I don't live in the East Midlands, there will still be something relevant to you wherever you live. So I'm here today basically to give you a bit of an overview about Thomas Pocklington Trust. I will skip quickly over the history part because it's quite interesting, but we haven't got too long, and I'd rather concentrate on what we're doing now rather than what we did in the late 1800s. But basically, Thomas Pocklington was a very rich jeweller from Yorkshire. As a Lancastrian, I'll keep my comments to myself about that. But he was a rich jeweller from Yorkshire, and he moved into property development, and he made his absolute fortune then. And then one day, whilst on a shooting party, he accidentally got shot in the face by his driver. And went blind. And basically, from then on, it was a case of, he suddenly realised how different the world was when you lose your sight, and he couldn't believe how hard it was to live when you've lost your sight. And then he miraculously regained his sight thanks to pioneering surgery back in the day. But he was still so moved by what had happened when he lost his sight that he decided that everything he made from then on will be a legacy for the future. So when he passed away in the early 1900s, he left his money and said it couldn't be touched for something like 30, 40, 50 years. It was all invested. And from that, we formed something called the Gift of Thomas Pocklington, and that has now become the Thomas Pocklington Trust. So that's kind of where we are today. And obviously, we've changed our services over the years, but primarily we are just here to support blind and partially sighted people in society in general. So we are a fully functional charity. We don't really stand there and fundraise publicly, so you may not have heard our name very often, but we're out there and we work alongside RNIB, Guide Dogs and others. Okay, so what our aim basically is to ensure that blind and partially sighted people have full participation in society. It's obvious to us sitting in this room that that's just a divine right that we should have, but it's not the case in the real world. So what we try and do is we use what we call the 3 E's, which are education, employment, and engagement. And obviously, as the engagement manager, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. We also have a young people service as well. So if you're thinking, it's about yourself or your child. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Okay, so obviously what I'm talking about is aged 18 plus, but bear in mind we do have a children and young person service as well, so if that's of interest, feel free to contact us. Our 3 E's we've mentioned, and then also we fund what we call sight loss councils, which is what I'm here to talk to you about today. So each engagement manager around the country is responsible for sight loss councils in their regions. So for me, that's Nottinghamshire, Leicestershire, Lincolnshire, Rutland, Northamptonshire, and I'm going to have to stop moving, Derbyshire. Okay. So what are sight loss councils? Well, they comprise blind and partially sighted people who talk about their lived experiences. And the idea is that we have different strands that we work through. And the strands are, in no particular order, transport, retail, health, sport and leisure, and arts and culture. And I think that's all of them. I can't see well enough to know what's on my slide, but I think that's all of them. And so basically every Sight Loss Council will choose a minimum of 3 projects. We have a national one this year, which is transport. So a big thing this year is about making transport more accessible to blind and partially sighted people. We have regional ones, and in the central region, which is what we're part of, ours is the built environment. Oh, whoa, I didn't even move. Which is something specific to your county or borough, and in our case, we're looking at arts and culture.
I apologise, you might have
to
say that again.
Did you all hear that, or do I need to start again? You heard it, okay. Did you hear it at the back? Yes. Fabulous, thank you. All I've got to do now is remember to advance the slides at the same time. Multitasking, if only my wife could see me now. Okay. So basically, to be a Sight Loss Council member, you must be blind or partially sighted. You have to be aged 18 or over, and you have to live or work in the region where the Sight Loss Council is based. And the reason behind that is that's to make sure that you understand and appreciate what goes on there on a daily basis. So, you know, if you have difficulty accessing transport, it's more pertinent to you if you actually live or work in that area. So that's kind of what the Sight Loss Councils are about. And we tend to have up to about 12 or 14 members per Sight Loss Council. The numbers vary across the country depending on, you know, geographical accessibility. So the rural ones tend to be smaller, and the ones based in the city tend to be bigger, just because it's easy for people to join those groups. And we meet monthly for a couple of hours, face-to-face, where we discuss our projects, and then the groups will split up into subgroups, and then they will meet in between those meetings to discuss how to take their bit forward. I'll tell you a bit more about the activities, and then what I'd like to do after that is introduce Rachel, because Rachel is one of our Sight Loss Council members, and it's better hearing it from her than it is from me. Okay, so the kinds of things we do. We do visual impairment awareness raising sessions. So that could be anything from, we have sets of simulation glasses, so we can simulate the most popular eye conditions, and then we can get a local counsellor, for example, to walk down the street wearing a pair of glasses that make them totally blind or give them peripheral vision loss or whatever it may be. And we do that with the risk assessments, obviously. And we can then get into empathise with what it's like for the people who can't take the glasses off at the end of that session. And that's what life is like for them every day of the week. So the VI awareness raising sessions are really good. We run VI forums where visually impaired people come together, discuss maybe their issues, for want of a better word, but their issues with particular things. So I know that Rachel's been involved in that in retail in Manchester Arndale, and you get Manchester Arndale, the shopping centre there, and you get blind people talking to them to say what does and doesn't work for them and share best practice, and then get them to hopefully change their practice to make it more accessible. So we do things like that. We do mystery shopping, which is really fun. So you can go out on a bus journey, for example, and then you can go back and feedback on what was good, what didn't work. And we collate all that information together as a national campaign this year. So we can then take that to the transport companies and say, this is what's happening. This is what it's like for people who are blind and partially sighted on a daily basis, with actual quotes. And we produce proper documents. So there's lots of different ways of getting involved. I'm trying to think what else we do, really. There's all kinds of different activities, and it very much depends on the Sight Loss Council. We're very proactive. We win friends and then influence that way. We don't stand there with placards telling people where they're going wrong. We approach in a very gentle way. We work with them, we build a relationship with them, and then we get them to fully understand what it's like to be blind or partially sighted. And the main thing that we use is our lived experience, and that's the big thing for us. And that's why every Sight Loss Council member is blind or partially sighted. So that's the kind of things we do. As I say, there's 20 Sight Loss Councils around the country at the moment. The newest one is Lancashire, and they're just about to launch, and they're going to start meeting in Blackburn. And the newest one before that is the first one that I've set up, which is in Nottinghamshire. But they're all over the country. We're going to move into Scotland next year as well. So the first one in Scotland will launch early next year, and then hopefully Wales and possibly Ireland will follow after that. We'll see how that goes. So we're hoping it'll be a UK-wide thing. As I say, my Sight Loss Council's been around for 2 months. Others have been around for 4 or 5 years and are very well established and have made some great relations, you know, with local government in particular and retailers. So we do work with people like John Lewis who then become fully involved in the programme. So that's kind of where we are and what we're about. Before I hand over to Rachel, just to say, if you're interested, it doesn't matter where you are in the country, come and see me. I'll get my contact details here on the slide at the end. Get in touch and I can put you in touch with the right engagement manager. So it's not me. There's somebody else in the country that covers your area, because we are now covered every single area in the country. So that's it, I think, from me. I'm going to hand over to Rachel, because I think Rachel's experiences are the most important part of this presentation, because, you know, obviously Rachel's been a Sight Loss Council member for some time and has done more activities than I have. So it's better to hear it from Rachel. So I'll just help Rachel up onto the front here. You okay? Do you need an arm or anything? Yeah. I'm going to bring you behind the lectern. And then if you just, there you go. The microphone there. Okay, thank you.
Hi, can you hear me at the back? So, hi everyone. You probably know me more, the fact that I'm a trustee with BBS UK, but for this section, I'm putting a different hat on, and I'm part of the Sight Loss Council for Greater Manchester. So I've been a Greater Manchester Sight Loss Council member since May 2022. I saw an advert online and contacted my engagement manager, had an informal chat, and then had an interview, did safeguard training, etc. online, and then became a full member. Went to my first Sight Loss Council meeting in Manchester at the end of May, and I've been going to the meetings every month since. Since joining in May, I've literally been chucked into a lot of things, such as, so our Sight Loss Council, the main things we were working on was retail. So we had a big event in Manchester at the Marriott Hotel. We did a big retail event with John Lewis, the Arndale, and also we had guys from Thomas Pocklington Trust, technology. So we were showing people that shopping is accessible, through John Lewis staff, Arndale staff, and also technology, so things such as your Seeing AI, Be My Eyes, etc. So that was one of the first projects I was involved in. Since then, I've gone to different retailers within the Arndale and also John Lewis, and delivered visually impairment awareness sessions. We delivered one a couple of months ago to about 15 members of staff. We made them put the sim specs on and showed them the different canes and just bits and bits like that, really. In the last couple of months, so last October I went to my first Sight Loss Council conference over in Birmingham, and our council won Campaign of the Year for our retail project. We've also just done a big Let's Get Active sports event where we had 12 different sports available to blind and partially sighted people. We had around 65 visually impaired and blind people come along. We had sports such as goalball, tennis, Pilates, yoga, massage. I think we had curling, baseball, netball. That's just to name a few. And then since then, on Thursday, just gone, we held a skincare and makeup event. So making skincare and makeup accessible to blind people. So we had a number of companies such as Kiehl's, Lancome, Boots, and Morphe Makeup, and they came along and they did demonstrations showing people how to use skincare and makeup when being blind and partially sighted to both men and women. So yeah, there's some of the projects I've been involved in. Being involved, I've met a lot of people, I've made more friends. It's helped me. Yes, I do have quite a lot of confidence, but it's given me more confidence in my local area. We're currently, the transport side of stuff, we're looking at mystery shopping with trains and buses. We're doing the retail, carrying that on, but we're also doing mystery shopping in Bury and Bolton. And we're also doing built environments, so looking at streets, bins, etc. Across the borough of Greater Manchester. So they're just a few of the projects that I've been involved in. If anyone's sat in the audience thinking, that's for me, then like Matt said, come and speak to him. He can put you in touch with the right engagement manager. You can get involved and do lots and lots of different projects. You'll meet many people, and yeah, it can help you with your confidence, and just take it from there. So that's it.